Welcome to Paul's Heart. I'm Paul, author of the book Paul's Heart Life as a Dad and a 35-Year Cancer Survivor, available on Amazon. You don't look like you had cancer. Yeah, I get that a lot. Now, I didn't have that problem 38 years ago when I was actually going through cancer treatments. It was obvious. I had put on 50 pounds, my hair was gone, my skin was pale white, so I looked the part. But for some reason, people feel a need, instead of just congratulating me that I've been alive for 4 decades after cancer, they come up with, you don't look like somebody who's had cancer. Well, what exactly does that look like? So, as a long term cancer survivor, I've discussed many times in my videos that I have developed late term side effects from the treatments that were used to put me into remission all these years. And I do have quite some serious issues, such as congestive heart failure, restrictive lung disease, and even now a pending diagnosis of lung cancer, and some other things. But again, when people hear that I have these issues to deal with, you don't look like you're in, what is it, congestive heart failure? You don't look like you're dying. First off, I'm not dying. But what exactly am I supposed to look like when it comes to dealing with congestive heart failure? I mention a lot about this shell, okay? And how I appear right now, I can smile. It's not a big deal for me. I can walk, I can talk, I can think. I do have some physical limits, but it's really hard to tell that I'm dealing with anything. And unless I'm actually having a personal conversation with somebody over my issues, there's no way for you to know. Because if we're being real, the majority of people can't handle being told bad stuff. They might be worried that they're going to catch what you got, or, that you're going to be unalived after so long of dealing with those issues, and they don't want to get hurt. So, since I don't look the part of a cancer survivor, somebody who's had cancer, and since I don't look like somebody who's got congestive heart failure and restrictive lung disease and things like that, I decided to play a little bit with AI. I don't generally like to do that, but it was a simple task. I took a recent picture, this one right here, okay, and I simply asked AI to turn that photograph into somebody dealing with cancer. The wheel just spun and spun and spun and spun. I got impatient waiting. So I thought, well, let me throw a different situation at it. Another accurate description. Make this photo someone dealing with congestive heart failure. Well, after about a minute of AI spinning again, it kicked back at me. I'm not able to do this because doing so would put a realistic health issue to a real human being. All of a sudden, AI has morals, it's thinking. Human beings have no problem judging what I look like. And all I'm trying to do is to come up with some photo that would show me, not necessarily show anybody else, but show me what I'm supposed to look like having congestive heart failure. And it wouldn't do it. So I thought, well, maybe AI is just being fussy right now. So I decided to have a little fun. And I said, I'd like you to take this photo and turn him into a rabbit. There you go. AI had no problem doing that to me, like the cute ears. And one little note here, Mr. Fuzzy Bunny, okay, that's impossible for me to have because of my radiation therapy. The hair in the area where I was radiated did not grow back or only grew back very partially. So I can't be that fuzzy a bunny underneath my chin like that. It was at this point that I went too far. And I was speaking with my daughter about this earlier because she sometimes does have better judgment than I do. Opening Pandora's box. Now, if you're not familiar with that, look it up what it means. Pandora's box, you open it up because you're curious what's inside it. And when you open up that lid, all the bad things come flying out. But you had to know what was inside that. So I decided to take my bunny idea and I put a prompt into AI. And you can do this on your own because I'm going to follow my daughter's advice and not show you the photo that happened. But I decided to take the bunny rabbit and expose it to the amount of radiation that I was exposed to 38 years ago, which, to be clear, they don't use on humans anymore. They do still use radiation to treat cancers, but at a much lower dose and a much lower exposure than what they did back then. But I said, make a photo of a rabbit exposed to 40 grays of ionized radiation. It produced a picture. And it was actually quite jarring, actually. And the best way I can describe radiation therapy to the person who's never been exposed to it, you basically end up with a sunburn, an extreme sunburn in the area that's being treated. Yes, you'll have the blistering and the peeling of the skin, the redness of the skin, the pain and all that. Being treated back in 1988, I was burned from here down to my lower abdomen, out to my shoulders. It was quite painful. But the average, anybody was able to see it. But it was when I had my first open heart surgery, courtesy of the radiation, that doctors had informed me on the mess that was inside of me from the radiation, the scarring. Looking at this picture of the AI rabbit exposed to that radiation, I got a glimpse firsthand of what my insides must have looked like when I was done with my radiation therapy. Really traumatizing. I won't show that picture, like I said. If you want, you can try and put that in your own search engine and do it. But when it comes to requiring a certain look for a certain ailment, I think my closing message is simple. Be glad you can't tell if we ever have had to deal with these issues. You're better off not knowing it. You're better off not seeing it. And we're both better off if you just accept it. Until next time, this is Paul's Heart.